January 20th, 2025. It is inauguration day. It is the evening of. And, well, this is where we're at. So I knew that coming into 2025, I wanted to create a space here within the Bake Shop Fitness channel on YouTube to have weekly discussions centering on around the mind, booty, soul conversations. And as we went through election season, and now as we're like having to live with the apparent results of that, um, it feels right that a lot of what we need to have conversations about will be the reminder of who we need to be in this time. Because this time will not be easy, it will not be pretty, but we are all here and we can be the opposition, meaning the positivity, opposing the negativity and the ugliness that is now leading this government. So, this is what we get to do. We get to now put in real time use, or like put in real use, all those things we've been practicing about how we keep our light, how we keep positive, how we be the change we want to see. So now is our time to really shine and really put that to the test. So today, I'll say it, it's a sad day for democracy in this country. And I think for, positivity, unity, equality, and democracy around the world, because what happens here does reverberate into the rest of this world. And so I do think it's a sad day for that. But I do see it as a challenge. I do see it as a calling for us all to really find within us the thing that will see us through and see our communities through. And that will hopefully and eventually see the end of this type of possible dictatorship, of this, what I'll call as evil, corporate greed, all of that. I don't think any of that has a place in our politics, and so in our government and the way a country is ran. So, a lot of times people will talk about how something has to be torn down for it to rebuild, and maybe that is just where we're at. So, but I do know if we are going to rebuild, if we are going to be the leaders in the opposition of that, we have to tap into our source and our positivity and remember what we need to bring so that there is a movement to oppose this. So now more than ever, you guys, I think you understand what's needed. We have to really tap into the source within each of us, because that source has the power to transcend what's happening. Again, we have to remember that when we tap into that source here, when we create within us that collaborative power and we use it out in the world for good, then we do not need to, I won't say not worry about, but no, I would say we don't need to worry about what's going on with the people that are in supposed power. They do not get to tell us how we feel. They do not get to tell us, internally how we will perceive something or how we will create in our life. Yes, a lot of ugly things will happen. I pray that just for some reason it goes better than we think it might. But I think we're going to see some scary things, and we're going to see some things that are going to affect a lot of us and in a lot of our communities. So yes, that may happen. And I think, yes, we have to brace for that. But we also need to know that no matter what goes on there, that does not get to change how we interact with one another. That does not get to change how we see and perceive ourselves and our future and our existence and our worthiness here. We get to create that and define that from our source, from inside. When we get into the flow of ourself, that's when we create our paths. And if you think about that, if each of us are tapping into the flow of ourself, we are creating a source-driven path and purpose that will guide us through whatever is happening. And if each one of us are doing that, look at that amount of change and power that comes with that. And with that, we bring along our communities, right? So we have to be that if we're going to see ourselves through this in any way. We have to be diligent and responsible about our own energy and what we're creating and tapping into, and not allow ourselves to get caught up in the circus of negativity and evil and all of that that's going on around us. We have to really carve out our path, guided and driven by source. Kingsley is here. He's my constant reminder to just, let it flow. So if we can be in the flow of ourselves, you guys, each and every one of us, then we get to come together as a whole and as communities to create that change and be that change. You know, spiritual leaders always say, like, one person tapped into their source is more powerful than a million who are not. And I just have to say that, like, with that much evil and greed, I cannot imagine that a lot of those people are going to be tapped into source right now. So if we can take this time to really get down to that responsibility of tapping into source and being driven by that, we are going to be more powerful than anything that's happening. And we will get through this next 4 whatever years. And I have to believe that this is not the end of our democracy. I have to believe that good will prevail. I have to believe that we will come through this, that something will be righted, and that we will be driving that change, and then we will be there to continue in that right direction when that time comes. So remember, you guys, take care of the flow of yourself, tap into that, and now more than ever, really be responsible with that power and that ability that we all have to do that. Because then outside of that, we tap into our communities. This is time that we have to be within our communities. We have to know who our people are. We have to know that we can count on each other, that we've got each other's backs. Because if all that is going crazy up there, we have to know that down here, I don't mean they're here, I mean like government people. There is no high or low. That's not what I mean, but government versus the people, right? We have to know that within our communities, our people, we are getting things done. We are taking care of each other. If, the price of eggs skyrockets to $12, if people are losing their rights, we have to know that we have each other's backs from one thing to the other, from all the extremes of what might happen in these next 4 odd years or less, hopefully. We have to know we have each other's backs. We have to know that we have our communities to turn to. We've come into this day and age where this is how we connect, and I think that is wonderful, and we should keep that, and you should find these spaces that you feel good in, because it's going to be valuable to have these spaces as well. But we also need to make sure we get away from our screens and find our people in our physical communities as well. So we can look to each other, we can ask each other for help, we can trade on whatever it might need to be, might trade on. But we can be there for each other in times when things are uncertain, when a government may not be there for us in a way that we have come to not depend on or rely on, but come to know is there. This country is not perfect. I know this. And we've evolved slower at times, faster at times. And we've gone through rough patches. We were founded in evil, tough times. But I do know that we've gone forward, even if back 5 steps, we've gone forward, so it's slow, but the progression is forward. And what I mean to say is that we have come to know a government that does help, that is a friend. And I know a lot of times it doesn't seem like that, I know, but if you look around other countries in the world, governments are corrupt. Governments are not there for the people. Governments are not taking care of infrastructure. They're not taking care of, the water supply, things like that. So in this country, we have to know that we do have those things, and there's structures in place that have allowed us to be able to depend and rely on those things like we would a friendly neighbor, like we would a family member that we, trust and look to. So we actually have had that in our country. And there may come times when we don't have those things. There may come times when, for certain amounts of time, we don't have that we can't look to that something that has been there for 60 plus years, 100 plus years may not be there. So we have to know that we can look to each other when these times get uncertain. So community is going to just be a really huge piece of this energy as we go forward. Find your communities, cultivate them here, cultivate them in person, nurture them, and give and take in that. Be a participant in your communities. And when it comes time to get involved, politically, we got to be there as well. We have to be there within our groups and people that we know are like-minded and that we know are working for the good. We have to be there to move forward with each other in those ways too. So this is why it's important to get involved, know who your people are, know who your neighbors are, so that you know who to turn to and where to find resources and also where to help. We've gone through the LA fires out here, and it was a perfect example of how when times all of a sudden become uncertain, how we can depend on each other. And you saw how this city mobilized, looking out for each other, donation centers everywhere, people offering their homes to families that need a place to be. So we have to know that that ability to look to each other is there. And if anything, the silver lining in these LA fires is that it proved in a city where you don't get that much credit here for being neighborly, right? It proved that even here, we are a community of people, or there still is the ability to find your people and be together and support one another. So all this to say, you guys, we must be the light. And I know we're going to hear this so much as we go forward, but we must be the light in our daily interactions. From the moment we wake up to the moment we go to bed, we need to strive to be the example of positivity, because there is going to be so much negativity infiltrating our screens, our workplaces, anywhere and everywhere we go. This is what we will be faced with. So to change that reality for ourselves and to then change the reality as a whole, we need to be the positivity that we want to see in the world. We have to be that. And it's so interesting that this inauguration, this historical inauguration, where an actual convicted felon, a rapist, somebody who incited an insurrection, has taken the oath of office as the President of our United States. It is an historical moment in our country, and it lands on MLK Day. It can't be a coincidence, because, obviously I would have loved for this to be the day that our first female and woman of color president took the oath of office. That would have been joyful, celebratory, beautiful. But for the fact that this historic day lands on MLK Day, a day where we remember a person in our history who literally embodied what it means to be the change you want to see in the world, to be the positive force of good that we all need. It can't be a coincidence that this happened today. And all I can say, believe, is that this must be happening for a reason. We must need to see just how bad it can get again, so that we absolutely decide this is not for us. And I don't mean we need to see it, meaning the people who knew not to vote for this person, but I do mean the people who thought it was okay to vote for him. I think we as the country, including those people, need to see this is not for us. So I think in some respects this has to happen to pull away all the layers, to get down to the ugliness of it so people can really see it, and as a collective finally decide to make a real change, not just a Band-Aid change, not a change that can be reversed, but like a real positive push forward change. That is my hope and prayer for these next however years it's going to be, for hopefully less. I don't know how, but hopefully. But that is my prayer and my hope, is that this is all not in vain, that this is for a reason. Um, so I hope this serves as a reminder for us that we have to be the light we want to see. We have to be the positive that we want to see from our day in to our day out. When we are walking down the street, be the smile on the stranger's face that you want to see. Be the kind person on the road that you want to see. The more we can inject positivity and good and light and love in this sphere, in our experience, the more that will emanate back to us. And if each and every one of us is doing that, there is power in that. Remember that. So if you're like, I feel hopeless, I feel helpless, these are the things you can do. You can wake up every morning, you can meditate, you can take care of yourself, go work out. You can tap into source, you can look around and feel gratitude for all the little things, for your animals, for your beautiful plants and trees, for the sun rising in the morning, for the stars at night. We can have gratitude for those things and let those things be a positive boost in our day. We can be that for other people, the light that they need to see. And just know that that can be our work. That can be it. Just tapping into source and being one more person aligned with our God-given, source-driven power, we will be the change for good then. So don't underestimate what that means and what it means to be responsible with your spirit. Take every day, take 10 minutes every day to tap in and get in touch with your center, with your heart center, your source. Because then you will be guided to be an addition to the greater collective, a positive addition to the greater collective. Because I know for me, feeling lost, feeling uncertain, feeling like I don't know how I can be used here, feeling like I don't know what I can do here now, does not feel good. It doesn't feel productive. It doesn't feel like my future holds anything real positive. It doesn't feel good. And I sure know I'm not on the side of money hungry, greed, ugliness, having to put down others so I can raise up myself. I sure know I'm not one of those people. Like, I sure know that I am not a person that feels like I need to stomp on somebody else so I can get higher. So I definitely know I'm not on that side. But I don't feel good and productive just sitting in the middle, wishing things weren't the way they were. So instead, each and every day, we be responsible with our spirit. We take that as our job, our orders to go forward. That is our duty to this collective humanity that is depending on us right now. It is our job to tap into that source and positivity so we can be another person in that collective good force. So if you're feeling lost, if you're feeling like you don't know what to do, take 10 minutes to meditate, take a walk, journal, spend time with your animals, love on each other, spend time in community, go out with friends, enjoy each other. Maybe not scroll for a while. Maybe not attach yourself to a screen for a bit. Tap into these things, yes, but step away, get involved in your people, in your community, and be joyful. That will be our job going forward. That will be our directive. That will be the thing that sees us through, and it's not that difficult. It really just means taking a few minutes a day to appreciate, to send love, to feel love, to send ourselves love, to love on ourselves and tell ourselves we are good, we are worthy, we are amazing and incredible. Take time to feel gratitude for yourself, for the things around you, for all the little beautiful things in our space, because all of that energy matters. I don't know if you caught a bit of the inauguration or not, or if you checked some things out online. I did my best today not to, because I already kind of knew what I would find there, but I did happen to come across a couple of things, and I'll tell you, it felt evil. It felt ugly. It felt low. It felt gross. And the only way I know to like dilute that feeling is to then inject more and more positivity in our space. So that is my reminder to us, you guys. That is what I hope for us. That is what I really hope we take away, basically. I really hope we take away this feeling of responsibility to this. And keep coming back here, you guys. If you feel like you want a community that is feeling the same way and wants to, and you need somewhere to like tap into to feel that like higher vibration, some upliftment, come here, subscribe to this channel, get involved in the comments, get involved in the community board, be here. Check out the workouts as well, because again, that's another way we can take care of ourselves, taking care of our physical as well, because it really taps into our heart and our soul. So that's why it's called Mind, Booty, Soul here. So tap into the workouts, you guys, get in the community, subscribe to this, share it with people that you feel like might enjoy it and also might get something from it. Get involved in the comments. This can be a space and community for you as well, right? This can be that. We'll keep coming back here weekly, even possibly more than weekly. Just to be honest, anytime I feel like we need to chat and we need the reminder, because a lot of this, you guys, is going to be for me too, to help me remember like what our initiative has to be and what we need to be doing. So, but come back here for that. We'll not always talk politics. That's not necessarily the overrunning theme here, but because this is that day and this is where we're at, and it does have such an impact on what we're doing, it's part of the conversation. But really, we're going to be discussing just how to be our best self in all the ways. Reminders, maybe some new points that you haven't thought of and perspectives you haven't, seen yet. So come back here, subscribe, share it. I would love to see you guys in the comments, so please comment. Let me know you're here. And once we get that community board up and going, get in there. But yeah, I'm really happy that we have this space and that we can be here for each other, because we're going to need it. But we can do this, you guys. I know it. We just have to know it. You know what I mean? We have to know that we're going to come out on the other side of this stronger and better and more joyful. It's hard to see it today, I know, but I have to know it for us. Okay. Love you all. We'll see you, next week or before. All right. Bye.